Our starting goalie matchup brought to you by Vector Security, the official security partner of the Pittsburgh Penguins. If your goal is to defend your business while you're out doing the things that you love, let Vector Security lend and assist with a free business security assessment. Visit vectorsecurity.com. So it's going to be Evan Gardner in net for the Monsters, and opposing him will be Taylor Gauthier for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. Gauthier, this is his first AHL game this season with the Wheeling Nailers. He's 18-10-2 with a 2.06 goals against average, a .923 save percentage, and 2 shutouts in his AHL career. All games played with the Penguins. Gauthier is 9-5-7. Meanwhile, Gardner, he's not just making his AHL debut, he's making his pro debut. The 60th overall pick in this past summer's NHL entry draft. Gardner went 23-13-5 with the WHL Saskatoon Blades with a 2.82 GAA, a .911 save percentage, and 3 shutouts. So Gardner trying to plant his flag in the ground here in Cleveland's season finale. Gauthier defending the net here in his 3rd season as a pro and getting the last start of the year here on Fan Appreciation Night for the Penguins. Quickly, 3 keys to tonight's game for Wilkes-Barre Scranton. The first key, I know everyone wants to see intensity before the playoffs, but we're looking for intelligence. We want to see playoff-like brainwaves from the Penguins here, not giving the puck away for free, making sure they're tidied up on their details. That's the way you want to springboard yourself into the postseason, with some intelligent, detailed hockey. Second key for Wilkes-Barre Scranton, kind of building on that point, is the penalty kill. Since about March 14th, Wilkes-Barre Scranton's PK hasn't been what the standard typically is. Under 75% since that time, but they were perfect yesterday against the Hershey Bears. We got to try to keep it that way against Cleveland today. That's probably what the Penguins are saying down in their locker room, because Cleveland has killed them on the man advantage this season. 31.6% Cleveland's man advantage against the Pens in their previous 3 games. And the third key is give it up for the fans. Maybe you don't care about the seeding. Maybe you don't care who you draw in that first round, but your motivation should be putting on a show for these good people in Northeast PA. We're going to step aside for a moment, but don't you dare go anywhere, because the official PNC opening puck drop on this regular season finale is right around the bend on WILK News Radio.
The weather is beautiful. It's time to get out and ride. It's Sickler's 92nd year in business.
Kill the return now, please.
Riding all
as we welcome East Stroudsburg Elementary First, FloHockey.
Tim, I can hear you loud and clear. Might have to add a bonus 30 here. Yeah, bonus 30, please. You got me, Joey? Welcome back to Mohegan Arena at Casey Plaza, ladies and gentlemen. The regular season finale taking place here in Northeast Pennsylvania, and Wilkes-Barre Scranton wrapping up their 2024-25 campaign here against the Cleveland Monsters. The Penguins enter this game with a record of 39, 24, 7-1, trying to get to 40 wins on the season here, and a chance perhaps to climb from 4th to 3rd place in the Atlantic Division playoff picture. Cleveland, on the other hand, they're walking into 5th place in the North, 35, 25, 5-6. Penguins going to try to put rubber to the road with their Motor World starting lineup. Vasily Ponomarev down from Pittsburgh, and he wins the opening faceoff. Atlee Calvert and Avery Hayes on his wings. Philip Kral and Harrison Brunick back on the blue lines. We have Taylor Gauthier in net for the Penguins, and Evan Gardner making his pro debut between the pipes for the Cleveland Monsters. And this crowd already trying to urge Wilkes-Barre Scranton along here in their 72nd game of the year, 32nd home game here to wrap up this campaign. Kral at the left point, defenseman with 7 goals on the season. Tried a shot, got blocked by Hunter McCown. Then Kral lost his balance, able to deftly swat it deeper into the Penguin zone to prevent Hunter McCown from charging up with a 2-on-1 rush. He had Rocco Grimaldi joining him, charging up ice, and Grimaldi incredibly dangerous. Made a career out of being an AHL scorer, 11th year pro, Rocco Grimaldi, right on the fringe of reaching 60 points this season. Grimaldi will arch one down to Penguins territory. Penguins waft it back to center. Ole Julian Bjorkvik-Holm resets, and now it's brought ahead by Gavin Brindley. Tap towards the Penguins net front. Good backtracking there by rookie Tristan Brose to steer that one away from Gauthier. Bjorkvik-Holm overskates that puck with his stick broken in 2. Now the Penguins have numbers going the other direction. Koivunen tucks it to Brose. Shot short side. And there's Gardner with the save on the first shot he's faced here in the AHL. Brose trying to catch him cheating, thinking he would go post to post, but Gardner held his ground there. Shot blocked by David Breezile. Can't spring the Penguins the other direction. Then a good strong stick lift there by Breezile. Prevents a shot from coming by Joey LeBate. Now Breezile will lead the Penguins down the blue line. Ran into the referee down there in the corner. Bit of a bad break there for rookie Breezile, playing in his 2nd AHL game. Penguins getting some fresh legs out here as the puck is snapped down below the Penguins goal line by Gavin Brindley. Good pace to this one to kick things off. Gone almost 2 full minutes without a whistle. Joona Koppanen comes roaring down the right wing. Gathers his own dump in, but then his cycle pass intercepted by Stanislav Svozil. Ripped back into the possession of the Penguins. Sam Poulin toiling forward in the left corner. Gets help from Koppanen. Ringed around the wall, but well away from any defender. Ends up being a free clear for the Monsters. Bounces past that broken stick behind Taylor Gauthier. Penguins try to clear. Stopped by Cleveland. Left point, darted over to the right wall. Trey Fix-Wolansky with a shot deflected high into the air. Goes almost into the upper bowl, but still gives us a whistle. 2 minutes, 19 seconds before the first stoppage of this game. Now we got our Vector Security starting goalies. We mentioned Gardner getting his first pro start here for the Monsters, but Taylor Gauthier, this is his first AHL start of the season for Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Played 30 games with the Wheeling Nailers, went 18, 10, and 2 with a 2.06 goals against average, a .923 save percentage, and 2 shutouts for Gauthier in that time. He's 9, 5, and 7 in his AHL career, all games played with Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Clausen slaps it down the left boards. Pursuing that is Stillman. Comes back to Gabe Clausen. Had the first multi-point game of his AHL career last night. The Penguins lost to Hershey. 2 helpers for Gabe Clausen. Stepping up was Zach Gallant. Hard hit there on number 29, Ryland Mosley. ATO out of the University of Wisconsin for Cleveland. Shots are 1-0 right now for Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Puck hoisted towards the Penguins' blue line. Handled by Brunick. Slithered ahead for Gallant. Down the right wing, backhand pass for Stillman. Blocked off, now shrugged off the puck. Stillman will lose it to Drew Bavaro. Bavaro has some real estate to work with here. Scurries blue line to blue line. Defenseman tries a backhand shot, slowed down by the Penguins. Now it's a Sean at the side of the goal. Roman Ashawn turning back, trying to wiggle away from Vasily Ponomarev. Chipped out to center as Ashawn couldn't find anyone on the receiving end of that pass. You have Gauthier trying to stop one behind his net. Instead it hopped out of play. 16:36 still to go in this first period. Here's Penguins head coach Kirk McDonald. His first season shepherding this Penguins club, and what a season it's been. High octane offensive club. One of the top goal scoring teams in the league, and they're trying to get that 40th win of K-Mac's first season here tonight. Successful coach prior to his stay here in the American Hockey League. He was a winner with the Reading Royals in the ECHL. Went to the junior ranks, coached the Dubuque Fighting Saints the last 2 years, where McDonald had a long run in the playoffs last year with the Fighting Saints, trying to do that again here with Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Atlee Calvert curling his way to the side of the goal. Cut off as he tried to power across the crease. That was Guillaume Richard standing in the way, but the Penguins maintain possession. Brazil zips one wide of the net. Picked up now by Vasily Ponomarev. Backhands it in front, shoveled by Calvert, and the stop made there by Evan Gardner. Now Ponomarev prevents another clear. Calvert at the side of the goal, twirls it towards the slot, but off the mark for Avery Hayes. Carried out by McCown, tried to tuck pass to Ashawn, instead it swatted to the Penguins' goal. Gauthier left it for Klerman and then sent over the glass. Cleveland trying to politic, saying it was thrown over the boards by Klerman, would be a penalty against the Penguins, but the referee says no dice. Trent Vogelhuber in his third season behind the bench for the Cleveland Monsters, leading them to back-to-back playoff berths. First time in franchise history the Monsters have qualified for the Calder Cup playoffs in back-to-back years, and they've done it with an Ohio native in Vogelhuber. Born in Northeast Ohio, grew up around Columbus, and how apropos that he ends up here as a head coach of the Cleveland Monsters, top affiliate of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Puck seized by the Penguins, winning the faceoff. Valtteri Postinen will swing one to the neutral zone, bounces away from Ville Koivunen, thrown deep again by the Monsters. Renov back behind the Penguins net. Pietila eats a check, comes to the Monsters. Backdoor pass, juggled, and ultimately falling over was Justin Pearson. He couldn't settle down the puck, but the Penguins knocked down Pearson with a trip. Going to put Wilkes-Barre Scranton to the Price Chopper Market 32 penalty kill here. And well, this was one of our keys to the game. Wilkes-Barre Scranton seeing if they could button up their penalty kill going into the playoffs. Ville Koivunen sent off for the trip. Cleveland, they have the 19th ranked power play in the league at 17.9%, but they have crushed Wilkes-Barre Scranton in their season series. In 3 games against the Penguins, they're 31.6% on the man advantage. Face-off won by the Monsters, just barely held onside there by Drew Bavaro, but it's going to be horseshoed back behind the Penguins' goal. Trey Fix-Wolansky chisels it to the right side half wall. Mikhail Potia punts it to the left corner. Fix-Wolansky picks it up. Whisked back to the point. Luca Del Belbeluz shielding it from Ponomarev. Saucered back to the point. There's Bavaro. Doesn't have a shooting lane, so he'll fire it deep again. Picked off the boards by Fix-Wolansky. At the point, it's Bavaro. Dishes to the left. Del Belbeluz finds Potia. Then a seam pass. Bounces away from Fix-Wolansky and allows Wilkes-Barre Scranton to clear. Quick puck movement there by the Monsters, but the pass by Potia over to Trey Fix-Wolansky, a little too hot to handle, hit him right on the tape, then dribbled off of his blade for the black and gold to pick it up and clear it out. Penguins penalty kill 13th in the league, and Avery Hayes will prevent his own entry and force Cleveland to go fish back behind their net yet again. 14:30 still to go in this first period. Cleveland without a shot so far in this game. Trying to test Taylor Gauthier for the first time with what's left of this power play. Grimaldi surfs his way onside. Ashawn chops it back to the point. Svozil quarterbacking this unit. Thrown to the left, now to the goal line. It's Grimaldi. Levied back to the point once more. Svozil passes to the left. Brindley fires. Stopped by Gauthier. Whacks the rebound behind his net. 5-4 by both teams. Brunick trying to knock it loose for the Penguins. It slips up the boards, held onside by Svozil. Stuffed it into the skates of Poulin. Bounced back to Svozil, but Avery Hayes is going to pick his pocket. Short-handed up ice with Poulin. Those two forwards elect to make the safe play. They'll dump and change with 17 seconds left in the minor to Ville Koivunen. Grimaldi has it again. Shovels it to McCown. Can't handle it cleanly, and the Penguins force it out to center, which will allow Ville Koivunen to rejoin the action here in Northeast Pennsylvania. Penguins survive that early penalty kill. Score still 0-0. Koivunen fresh out of the box. Picks up the puck in Penguins territory. Fires it to the tape of Dan Renov. Now tapped ahead to Tristan Brose. 22 years old, 1-on-4. Shimmies it to the left. There's Stillman joining the rush. He and Brose exchange it in the corner, but all those Cleveland defenders rip it back. Koivunen steals it away again for the Penguins. Try to pass. Blocked. Samuel Kaniashko standing in the way of that feed. Skating north with it is Max McHugh. Passes to Ole Julian Bjorkvik Holm. Norwegian defenseman gets hit hard along the wall by Pietila, much to the enjoyment of this crowd. Dan Renov also throwing his weight around in the trenches. Puck tied up in the right side corner boards. Shim back to the point by Cleveland. Shot kicked away by Taylor Gauthier, denying Samuel Kryeshko. Hietala nullifies his man. Bros supporting the play down low. Try to break out past to Koivunen with a second effort. Koivunen able to muscle that one back between the blue lines. Penguins changing. Cleveland counterattacks, but they have a man behind the play. Tied up was Cameron Butler, and that will bring the Monsters offside. And with 12:25 left in this first period, we'll step aside and take a break. Fun start to this one. We'll see who draws first blood when we return on your Penguins Broadcast Network.
Now fans, pay attention to your name as we send it down the line with tonight's jersey off the back winners.
Thanks, guys. We are here near section 101, and these are the winners of the jerseys off our back. First of all, we have Greg Mayo, Richard Shiptowski, Stephen Moorhead, Terry Davis, Charles Carpenter, Tanya Thompson, Van Toppen, Bill Stevens, Alan Shigala, Kelly Martinez, Russell Vaughn, and Mel Bright. They are the winners. Go to the front. Check in. Before we send it back to the booth, we need you to be loud. We need you to be crazy, everyone. Here we go. Let's go, Penguins!
First period continues, shots even 2 apiece. Taylor Gauthier and Evan Gardner doing their jobs in net for these two clubs. Wilkes-Barre Scranton going to work in the offensive zone with Philip Crow passing down the left boards to Sam Poulin. Floats one over to the right side boards. Harrison Brunick will carousel it down into the left corner. Poulin cut off, but Valtteri Postinen snags it. Gets hit by Brindley, still able to shovel it to Poulin. Pass in front, no one there. Picked off by Gavin Brindley. And turned over by Cleveland. Joona Koppanen happy to pick that up. Pass into the slot for Postinen. Chopped off of his stick. Racing after it again is Koppanen. Galloped to the puck, but then his backhand play went into the body of Joey LeBate. Dish just center by Cleveland, but Wilkes-Barre Scranton regrouping for the moment. It's one of the problems Cleveland has had in recent weeks as they gear up for the playoffs, or turnovers in their own zone, turnovers in transition. Now we see one of the Penguins take a spill. That was Gallant. Trying to take advantage of that is Justin Pearson. He smelled blood in the water, but Penguins clean that up rather nicely. Crow swats it over to Gabe Clausen. That drew things out of sync for Wilkes-Barre Scranton. There's a delayed offside call upcoming, so the Penguins backpedal across the blue line. Laying out here by Mikhail Putia. Thrown to Fix-Wolansky. Now Putia with it again. Fix-Wolansky swats it over to the left. Hard pass, corralled at the blue line, then bobbles away from Putia. Settled down by the Finnish forward. Hard pass for Fix-Wolansky. He can't handle that one. Breezeal's dump in, knocked down by Cleveland, but that's deemed a hand pass with 10:55 still to play in this first frame. So Wilkes-Barre Scranton trying to get the first goal in this game. Atlee Calvert's been a young man who's been producing at a great pace for the Penguins as of late. He's got 10 points in his last 12 games, but here's the deal. That's 10 of his 14 points on the year. Calvert in his rookie season with the Penguins was an ECHL All-Star with Wheeling, called up in late January, and Kirk McDonald many times has complimented Calvert for being a guy who's taken advantage of the opportunities that have opened up with players either injured or many called up to Pittsburgh in recent weeks. Calvert out here with Ponomarev and Hayes, but they're in a defensive posture at the moment. Olin McCown has one slide away from him. Shot comes from the left point, dribbles wide of the Penguins' goal. Now Ole Julian Bjorkvik-Holm will pick it up. Pass behind the net, quickly fired in front. Skips away from Grimaldi, right back to the Monsters, Roman Ashawn. Always a thorn in the side of the Penguins, Ashawn. Scored a hat trick against them earlier this month. Penguins steal it away. Now a 2-on-1. Calvert controls, shoots upstairs, and the save made by Evan Gardner. Puck stays in play. Half pipes around the boards all the way back to the Penn side of the equation where Avery Hayes will pick it up. Almost right on cue, there was Calvert trying to score the first goal in this game. Defenseman played the pass, so no lane there for Ponomarev. Calvert able to wind and fire. Now here's Koivunen walking down the slot, and Gardner got a little piece of that one as Koivunen got table-topped in front. One of the Monsters lost their stick. Koivunen finds Postinen in front, and what a tremendous kick save by Gardner. What vision there by Ville Koivunen as well. First AHL game since his time in Pittsburgh. Koivunen has it once more, finds Dan Renov, and that's turned away by Gardner too. Makes the save, no rebound available. Ville Koivunen's playmaking brilliance on display immediately upon his return to Wilkes-Barre Scranton. But we're still tied 0-0 on your Penguins broadcast network.
Tonight's jackpot currently stands at $3,055. Winning number will be announced during the third period. Now fans, pay attention for your names and send it down the line for the remaining jersey off the back winners.
Thanks, guys. We again are here in section 1-0-1. It's time to see the next people that are in jersey. Let's see. Maureen Forbright, Yolanda Smith, Tara Hendershot, Dorothy Zimmerman, Felicia Petrillo, Leonard Nardozo, Henry Anderson, Timothy Dark, Brian Cada, Caitlin Miller, Jason Wasco, and Bernice Signo. Congratulations, you have won a jersey here tonight. Go to your section 108. Let's get ready to send it back to the booth. But before we do, fans, get loud, get crazy, and let's go, fans!
Evan Gardner, the fourth goalie taken in this past summer's NHL entry draft, 60th overall by the Columbus Blue Jackets, and playing in his first AHL game, first pro game. He's facing a blitz here in this first period by Wilkes-Barre Scranton after they survived a penalty kill. Ville Koivunen turning up the heat, but Gardner keeping this game tied 0-0. Puck pitched to center by the Pens, knocked down by Kinieshko. Fired back by the Penguins. Gauthier leaves it there, but one of the Monsters do it first. LeBate tried to bank it in, and I think it was Tristan Brose, the first one back there to stick it away from LeBate. Now a drive from the slot. Glove down by Gauthier. Saw through traffic, but able to ensnare that one into his right-hand catching glove. 3 saves now for Taylor Gauthier, and Ville Koivunen 7 assists in 8 games with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Just came back from that NHL stint, and safe to say, I think he put his best foot forward in the NHL. We saw a lot of his wizardry throughout this year with Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Leads the team in points with 55 on the year. But a unique little nugget found by the Penguins PR staff whenever Koivunen had 2 assists in Pittsburgh's finale the other night. Most points through their first 8 games with the Pittsburgh Penguins by a rookie since Jake Gensel. That was that little nook and cranny of the Penguins history book carved out by Ville Koivunen. Coincidentally, he was acquired in a trade for Jake Gensel from the Carolina Hurricanes. Puck harmlessly to Gauthier's crease. He'll cover that one up with 8.5 minutes to go here in the first period. Tonight's presenting sponsor is Coors Light, colder, cleaner, and crisper for those who thirst for more. Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Oona Kolpanen set to take this face-off against Hunter McCown. Kolpanen, one of those 6 players reassigned from Pittsburgh yesterday. 11 games with the big club in the NHL. Scored his first NHL goal with the Penguins. That was March 11th against the New York Islanders. Face-off won by Cleveland, however. Grimaldi tiptoes to the right, passes to the points. Fozil behind his back to Grimaldi again. Shuffles right, shot up high, and another glove save for Taylor Gauthier. Now, Gauthier is the ECHL goalie of the year last year with the Wheeling Nailers, yet his stats in his 30 games this year with the Nailers even better than they were last year in pretty much every category except for wins. Better GAA, better save percentage. Sergei Murashov in Wheeling right now for their run in the Kelly Cup play. Cleveland, pitched out by Fix-Wolansky. Thrown ahead now by the Penguins. Stillman misses the mark on his feet for Clausen, so a shot from the neutral zone by Fix-Wolansky, steered to the corner by Gauthier. Klerman back for it from Boulder, Colorado. Fed ahead to Gabe Clausen, touched up to the neutral zone. Stillman parachutes up to it. Eases it down the left side boards. Comes up on the forecheck. Bjorkvik Holmes sandwiched between two Penguins forecheckers there, but still able to sweep that one to center. Pultya onside, gets his stick lifted by Pietila. Back pressure provided by Stillman. Now Stillman fires one ahead. He's looking for Gallant, unable to connect as Stillman took a big open ice hit there from Trey Fix-Wolansky. Now the Penguins are the team guilty of icing. Stillman, a trade deadline acquisition by the Pittsburgh Penguins, getting him from the New Jersey Devils in exchange for Cody Glass and Jonathan Gruden. This is his 19th game here in black and gold, Chase Stillman. Another face-off, won by Cleveland. Big bomb from the point, absorbed by Gauthier, stopping Samuel Konechko. 6:49 still left in this first period with the shots even 7-7. Penguins unbeaten in regulation all time here at home against the Cleveland Monsters. 10-0, 1-0. 18-4, 3-0 all time against Cleveland, their record. That's an .840 points percentage. However, they're down in the season series. 2-1 here to Cleveland. The Penguins getting spanked in their visit to Rocket Arena earlier this month. A 7-1 loss and a 3-0 loss. Furthermore, Wilkes-Barre Scranton's usually a team running up the score in the first period against opponents. Highest first period goal total, best first period goal differential in the league, but they've been outscored 7-1 in first frames in their 3 games against the Monsters. Cleveland looking for the opening strike in this one. They've scored first in all 3 of those games against the Penguins. Shot from the point, wide of the goal, jarred free from the side of the cage, then skipped back to the right point. McKinnon dishes back behind the net. Max McHugh waiting for it there. Took a hit from Avery Hayes. Flung back to the blue line for McKinnon. Now a chip play by Mosley. Comes into the skates of Corral. Thread back out between the blue lines. Monsters regrouping. Penguins want to get fresh bodies out here. Crowd does a good job stymieing the transition. Avery Hayes walks his way across the blue line. A toe drag wrist shot fought off by Gardner. Now a behind the back pass. He wanted Bolstein in, but it's intercepted instead by Cleveland. Angled fourth now, down the right wall, it's Justin Pearson. Spinning around, drops it back to Guillaume Richard. Walks left, shoots up high, in and out of the glove of Gauthier, but the rebound escorted away from danger by Klerman. Now it's Brizil. Wanted Koivunen. Standing in front of that, Stanislav Svozil. 22-year-old defenseman out of the Czech Republic. Burrows passes along the blue line. Penguins keep it onside. Koivunen trying to go back to Bolstein, blocked off by Svozil. Koivunen with a great stick lift in the corner, trying to keep the offense alive for the Penguins. Pearson wrenches it right back. Fluttered rink wide. Taken in stride now by Gavin Brindley. 2nd round pick in 2023 by the Blue Jackets. Chased behind the goal, ridden off into the wall by Klerman. Now Klurman in distress. 2 forecheckers draped all over him with 5 minutes left to go in the first period. Klurman getting support from Bros. This puck not budging. Now 3 players for both teams a part of this pileup. Shimmed loose by Bros. Comes to Valtteri Postinen. Faked a pass. Paid it in. Lebate there. Now Lebate will go back to the bench as Postinen will drop it behind the Penguins net calmly and safely to David Breazeal. Shots 9-7 for Cleveland. Breazeal fighting his way through the forecheck. Hoists one up to Joona Kolpanen. Try to backhand her in front. Knocked down by Drew Bavaro. Former Providence Bruin where he started this season. March trade acquisition from the Monsters. Well, I guess technically it was a loan by the Bruins, but we don't need to get into those minor details. That's another save for Gauthier to keep this game knotted at 0-0. A little more than 4 minutes left to play in this opening frame. We'll be right back on your Penguins Broadcast Network.
Just enter the Go Trivia. The 3 VIP players go to contact to make more fun and excitement. Now let's join Brian on stage and tonight's contestant for the Pennsylvania Lottery Penguins Trivia Challenge.
Thanks, guys. We are here at Section 103 Rugby with my good friend from Danville, Kevin Hurd. Let's welcome Kevin here tonight, everybody. It is time for the PA Lottery Trivia. Let's take a look at the board, Kevin. What Penguins player leads a team in games played during the 2024-25 season? Let's take a look. Oh, this is tough. Fans, help Kevin out. Which one do you think it is? All right, Kevin, what do you think? Is it Boris? Let's take a look at the board. It is Boris. Congratulations, Kevin. You are the winner of the PA Lottery here at the Mohegan Arena. Before we go, Kevin, can we get a let's go test? Let's go.
Unofficially here at Section 104, we have the Penguins tracked at 9 for 14 on faceoffs here in this first period. I do say unofficially because that's not an AHL track stat. We try to keep a handle on that ourselves. Make that now 10 for 15 after that faceoff one by Joona Kolpanen. Kolpanen was injured for last year's playoff run by Wilkes-Barre Scranton, those brief 2 games against the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. And because it was so long ago, I think people underestimate what the absence of Kolpanen meant to Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Now he's back in the fold with that long 6'5" reach. Great on the dot and excellent on the penalty kill as well. Cleveland regrouping at their blue line. Grimaldi searching for space. Kolpanen following him like a shadow. Grimaldi has a drop pass, struggled into the high slot. Now Fix-Wolansky fires wide, picked up off the end boards and chopped back over the net by Grimaldi. We've seen those big bounces off the boards here at Mohegan Arena at KC Plaza result in a lot of goals for the Penguins over the years, but the Monsters almost took a page out of the black and gold's book for the opening goal tonight. Alas, we're still tied 0-0. Luca Del Bel-Belouz trying to go coast to coast, got tied up at the side of the net, and then look at this, the puck fell on top of the goal, almost arched down the back of Taylor Gauthier and in. Instead it sits harmlessly atop the net. You will not see that very often, but a bounce that goes the Penguins' way. Because that very easily could have hit off the crossbar, come back in a play, and then an unsuspecting defender, even Gauthier himself, could have knocked it into the goal. Could have fallen down back behind the net. We'd still be playing right now. Instead, you blow the play dead. That's out of bounds, so to speak. Fix-Wolansky cycles one down to Luca Del Bel-Belouz. 10 points in his last 10 games. Big collision at the right wall. Gallant collided there was Fozil. Offense still alive here for the Monsters. Del Bel-Belouz tried to play it in front. Pass blocked off by Brunick and then sky hooked out by the 18-year-old rear guard. 2.5 minutes left to go in this first period. Puck handled here by Guillaume Richard. Finds Mikhail Putya. Hip checked by Brazil. Knocks the puck loose for Klerman. Klerman wants Stillman. Breakout feed to Ponomarev. One-handed up to Zach Gallant. Great play by Ponomarev. Gallant tried to shimmy it back ahead to Ponomarev. Couldn't get his stick on it and send it on goal. Now it's Ole Julian Bjorkvik-Holm. Going blue line to blue line, right to left. Pass back over to the right. Atlee Calvert gumming things up here for the Monsters, preventing them from setting up on offense. Puck's going to roll into the Penguins bench for a whistle in the final 2 minutes here of this first period. Taylor Gautier's been tested 10 times during this first period. 10 saves already for the reigning Nick Vitucci Award winner. First goalie in Wheeling Nailers history to be named ECHL Goalie of the Year. A great season last year for Gauthier, and he kind of had to wait a long time to get his crack here in the American Hockey League again. Now during his third season as a pro, it's been a crowded crease for Wilkes-Barre Scranton. He's the 7th goalie they've used this season. Here's a turnover. Avery Hayes with a wrist shot goes wide. Chase Pietila holds the line at the right. Floats it down the boards. Picked up by Cleveland. Passed ahead to number 29, Ryland Mosley. Mosley trying to split the defense. Scurries to it in the left corner. Pass in front. Whiffed on it. Collected again by Cleveland. Sent to the point. Shot down low. Kicked away by Gauthier. Hayes pressured along the boards. That allows Cleveland to pry the puck free. Kaniashko feeds it across the blue line. Shot with a man in front. Ends up going wide of the net. Butler trying to tip it on net. Cameron Butler was scratched in 14 of Cleveland's last 15 games, but getting in the season finale here. Kaniashko leaves it at the point. McKinnon slapper sent wide. Now Ponomarev gets body positioning on LeBate. Takes a hard hit from McHugh, but Ponomarev able to send it to center. Calvert tied up right in front of the Penguins bench as 52 seconds remain here in the first period. Everything's slowing down here. Now finally grabbed by Cleveland. Hurriedly brought onside by McKinnon. Drop top of the left circle. Shot wide by LeBate. Brindley joins the fray. Dishes to Pearson. Try to return it to Brindley. Penguins step in the way. In the skates of Bolstinen. Bumped off the puck. Open ice hit there delivered by Guillaume Richard. Barunik stymies the zone entry by Cleveland, but then the puck touched by the stick of Ville Koivunen falls down in the penalty boxes for a whistle with 27.6 left in period 1. Linesman Ryan Jackson hands that one off to his fellow mate J.P. Waleski, Northeast PA native, out to drop this puck between Burrows and Joey LeBate. Face off to the right of Gauthier with some help from Koivunen. Penguins get possession. Fumbled at first by Brunik, then reeled back in by the rookie. Tapped up, Tristan Burrows, 18 seconds left in the period. Penguins looking for another shot. Maybe they can get a late goal to take the lead into the intermission. Koivunen swirls it back to the right point, leaks around Harrison Brunik, back to the Penn side of the equation. Now 7 seconds left in the period. Crow transitions up ice once more. Passes to Bolstinen, Bolstinen across, Koivunen in front, Burrows, and a kick save made by Gardner right at the buzzer. Oh, they tried to go tic-tac-toe, but instead the toe of Gardner keeps this game tied 0-0 with 20 minutes in the books. A fast-paced first period between these two clubs, and yet no goals. Gauthier, 10 saves for Wilkes-Barre Scranton, and that right there, that was the 8th save of the game for Evan Gardner. We'll see what these two teams have in store in the upcoming second period, but in the meantime, while they regroup, we've got your intermission report. We'll be laying out some playoff scenarios for the Penguins. I know you've got questions. Hopefully we have some answers whenever we come back on your Penguins Broadcast Network.
Fans, please welcome Rebecca's Rhythm and Arts Dance Academy for tonight's first intermission performance. Wilkes-Barre Fire Department, Reliance Fire Company No. 1, Geisinger, Stellar Systems, Sugarloaf Fire Company, East Stroudsburg Elementary School Chorus, St. Nicholas St. Mary's School, Nuremberg Weston Volunteer Fire Company, Hamlin Fire Company and Rescue, Domino's Pizza NEPA, East End Fire Company, Goodwill Hose Company, Beach Lake Volunteer Fire Company, Cleveland Monsters Booster Club, Top Bottom Hose Company, Cumberland Fire Company, Oxon Volunteer Fire Company, O'Boyle Hoover Families, SCI Waymore, Paws, Claws, and Beach like Sarah Derrick, Salvation Army Adult Rehab Center, Nicholson Volunteer Fire Company, Scranton Public Library, Lycoming County Sheriff's Department, Venturing Crew 317, Wilkes-Barre Fire Department, Northwest Area School District, USB Canaan Employees Club, Triton Volunteer Fire Company, Welcome Frontline Workers, Welcome the King Family in Lodge Box 6, West End Fire Company of Broadheadsville, in the Ice Level Lounge, AUSA in Geisinger, and the Bunker Lounge, West End Fire Company of Broadheadsville. For more information on group tickets, visit WBSKPenguins.com or stop by the Service First Friend Assistant booth. The American Hockey League congratulates Matthew Potra of the Utica Comets for his selection as the Howie's Hockey Tape AHL Player of the Week for the week ending April 13th. For Roy, Matthew Potra, and for Rob Lakes from the league, visit theAHL.com or download the official Please head over to the service representatives and booth for information on how to claim your prize.
How much time we got? Okay, you are definitely going to have to pad here. Can you give me a minute to start? Thank you. That's going to get us close. You might have to throw another 30, but we'll adjust. No, I'm saying we might have to do an extra 30. Don't do it yet. I got a minute 30 till I'm live on TV.
Okay, well, you just got a minute, so I think a 30 is
Perfect. Thank you.
Penguins fans, please welcome back to the ice your Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins.
1 minute till TV. Both teams back on the ice now for this second period at Mohegan Arena at Casey Plaza. Penguins started this game at 6:05 p.m., so a lot of those important contests that are happening elsewhere in the Atlantic Division tonight, they're still about 10 minutes away from getting going. We're, of course, talking about the Providence Bruins hosting the Bridgeport Islanders. A regulation win by the Penguins against the Monsters today would put the Penguins in a position where they could jump from 4th place to 3rd place going into the playoffs, but they would also need Bridgeport, a team with only 15 wins on the season, to beat Providence in regulation. If the Penguins go to overtime, even if they win an OT, they will stay in 4th place. If Providence gets even 1 point, they will stay in 3rd and the Penguins will stay in 4th. 4th place means the Penguins play the Lehigh Valley Phantoms next week in the playoffs. 3rd place means the Penguins draw the Springfield Thunderbirds. But right now, it's about taking care of business against these Cleveland Monsters. Puck chopped down back behind the Penguins' net. Gauthier out to handle it, zips it up the boards, chipped away from Hayes, but settled down by Atlee Calvert. Ponomarev crashing the crease as Calvert lets one fly, missed the net. Bounces back to Philip Corral, had his stick lifted, puck pulled away by Cleveland at the blue line. It's a Sean, and Ponomarev did a good job defensively to prevent a Sean from getting the breakaway pass. Roman Sean has 7 goals, 9 points in his last 8 games against the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. 3rd-year pro who had to come to Cleveland on a PTO this season. Now he's got career highs across the boards in goals, assists, and points. David Brazil walking his way back behind the Penguins' net, trying to shield that one away from the forecheck of Grimoni. Brazil successful in that puck protection over his dump, swatted down by Ole Julian Björkvik-Holm. Koivunen can't keep it away from the Monsters. Now it's Lebate, wrist shot down low, stopped by Gauthier. Brazil finds the rebound, and Lebate just bounced right off of the 24-year-old rookie. Lebate tried to run him over, and Brazil is having none of that. However, icing called here against the Pens. The first whistle of this second period, 1 minute and 12 seconds in. Ole Julian Björkvik-Holm slowly sauntering for this offensive zone face-off from Oslo, Norway. Wilkes-Barre back at the left point as Bros faces off against Gavin Brindley. Yeah, so those Calder Cup playoff matchups, it's going to be at home on Wednesday, 7:05 p.m. Game 3, if necessary, will be here on home ice for the Penguins too, and that won't change if the Penguins play the Phantoms or the Thunderbirds. Those home dates are locked in, and you can get your tickets now. They're on sale. Call 570-208-PENS. Ticketmaster.com and the Mohegan Arena box office. Viable ways to secure your seats for Game 1, Game 3 if necessary, and for every game in the Penguins Calder Cup playoff run. Season tickets for next season on sale now too, as you saw there at the bottom of your screen. Same number to dial, 570-208-PENS. Brindley forechecking against Kellerman. Finds its way right in front of Gauthier. He'll pounce upon that puck as the net just barely stays on its moorings. Breezeal almost trucked Pearson into a spot where the net would come down and mousetrap Taylor Gauthier in there. Seen that happen a time or two, but Gauthier's not going to have a crossbar crashing down on his neck. He's just going to get his 12th save of the game. Another face-off to the left of Taylor Gauthier here. Luca Del Bel Baluz at the dot against Joona Kolpanen. Not sure if there's a team that has longer names in the AHL than Cleveland. Trey Fix-Wolanski, Luca Del Bel Baluz, and Ole Julian Björkvikholm. Long name bars for that Cleveland equipment staff to keep track of. Kolpanen dishes one into the slot. No one there for the black and gold. Fix-Wolanski picks that off. Drop to Will McKinnon. Slap back in the direction of Trey Fix-Wolanski, former Edmonton Oil King. Threads it in the direction of Mikael Pultia. Defended here by Chase Pietila. Third AHL game for him. Had some time with Wheeling. 3 assists in 8 games for the Nailers for Pietila. CCHA Defensive Defenseman of the Year with the Michigan Tech Huskies and a draft pick of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Here's Brunick, also drafted this past summer. Rolling down the right wing, banked it behind the net to Kolpanen, tried to fire it to Poulin, sticked into the air by Del Bel Baluz, stays in play, however. Slipped out to center by the Monsters. Stillman tried to shimmy around Pultia, instead he lost the puck to Del Bel Baluz. 2-on-1, Del Bel Baluz gives it to Butler, and a poke check by Brunick prevents the shot from ever coming on goal. Brunick has it now behind the Penguins net. Pass initially misses Philip Crow. Held at the line by the Monsters. Kniashko plays it to the right corner for Butler. Lobbed back to the point. Now it's Stanislav Svozil. Drops it to Butler. Top of the right circle. Hard shot. Whizzed wide. Svozil again now at the left point. Down the boards. Richard looking backdoor. Gallant charging back there to step in the way of that pass. Carried out of the Penguin zone by Gabe Clausen. Dish to Stillman. One of the defenders lost their stick for the Monsters as Stillman passed back to Klurman. Pirouette pass over to David Breezeal. Took a hit, dropped it down into the trenches. Gallant feeds it over to Stillman. Back to the blue line again. Nate Klurman steps into the slot. Wrist shot, save, and then the rebound reeled in by Evan Gardner. Nate Klurman's been picking up assists aplenty for Wilkes-Barre Scranton as of late. Back-to-back games with helpers, 3 assists in his last 4, 4 assists in his last 6, but that time he was walking right down Main Street, tried to go top corner. Brindley made the initial save, but the rebound was loose. No one able to clean it up for the black and gold. Ponomarev out again with Calvert and Hayes. This draw secured by Cleveland. Passed up to Roman Ashan. Missed Hunter McCown. McCown 2 goals in Cleveland's last win against Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Both those goals in the first period. Hayes comes bebopping down the right wing wall. Dished it behind the goal. Spinning away from Atlee Calvert. Breakout play here by the Monsters. Settled down by Ashan. Stutter steps, then passes to the left. Drop pass attempted by Bavaro. Broken up by Klurman. Bavaro, the defenseman, continues the forecheck, but the Penguins make quick work of that. 3-on-2 rush the other way. Atlee Calvert carrying the mail. Backhand saucer pass, dribbled in front, settled down by Ashan, and swept away from the blue paint. Up the boards to Hunter McCown. McCown across the blue line. Drops it at the right wall to Rocco Grimaldi. Tried a rink-wide pass, deflected into the air. Grabbed off the left side boards by Justin Pearson. on his backhand. Tried to pitch it to Bjorkvik Holm. Penguins got in the way, but it falls down from McCown left corner. Pass to an open man on the right. Wrist shot blocked. Standing in the way was Dan Renov, preventing Samuel Kadeshko from getting another shot on Gauthier. Burrows accelerates out of the Penguins' end. Hayes tried to feed it back to his fellow 22-year-old, but the Monsters pry that one back into their possession. Joey LeBate, high stepping down the left wall. Renov tries to cut him off. LeBate continues his pursuit of the puck. Pietala's ring pass, stopped by Pearson. Laid down to the left corner. It's Brindley, finding an open man at the right point. Kaniashko back to Gavin Brindley. He's got speed, but he's going to hit the brakes here to cut away from Burrows. Brindley high slot, drops it back to McKinnon. Bid blocked by Bolstinen. McKinnon gets it right back. Acquired from the Utica Comets in exchange for future considerations at the AHL trade deadline, Will McKinnon. Burrows tried to feather it up to Koivunen. Swatted away by Will McKinnon, but it's going to be collected by Renov with time and space for the Penguins defense to work with here. Headman pass, misses Bolstinen, but they say he got his stick tied up, so play continues, no icing. Kaniashko finds Mikhail Putia to a streaking Trey Fix-Wolansky. Del Bel-Belluz back to Fix-Wolansky. Tried to tap it backwards to Del Bel-Belluz. Spinning pass, intercepted by Harrison Brunik. Brunik knocked down from behind. Mikhail Putia got on his horse to keep up with the speedy Harrison Brunik. Now Penguins forechecking here. Chased behind the Monsters net is Guillaume Richard. Floats one up the right wing. Putia has his pocket picked by Joona Koppanen. Brings it back on the attack. Koppanen showing some pep in his step here as he rides Richard off into the right side corner, but Svozil has the puck lifted into the air, gloved down by Sam Poulin. Dish to the left, there's Matthias Laferriere on his backhand, wrist shot save, rebound, oh, and Gardner denies Sam Poulin. Puck catapulted out by Cleveland, not enough for icing, and then Crowell loses it. Trey Fix-Wolansky, left corner, tries to go back door, couldn't thread the needle to Del Bel-Belluz. But Del Bel-Belluz has it now at the right point. Woodbridge, Ontario native, detects Bavaro. Bavaro thrusts it deep. Tap to Fix-Wolansky at the left side hash. Pass back door, bottom of the right circle. Del Bel-Belluz centering feed, deflected by the Penguins. Gallant trying to break the press. Breakout feed into the skates of Laferriere. Chipped ahead now by the former Springfield Thunderbird. Gallant, first one on it for the Penguins. Forwards changing though, so he has to wait for support. In that time, Cleveland able to wrench the puck away. 12:40 left to play here in the second period. Still a 0-0 score here in the Penguins and Monsters regular season finale. Icing called against the Penguins. Stillman and company coming back to the Penguin zone for this draw. Gauthier with a swig of water to make sure he is well hydrated for whatever the Monsters might have in store on this offensive zone face-off. Yeah, we had the Penguins tracked at 72.2% in the first period on face-offs. I will once again recite that that is an unofficial stat. Clausen will win that one away from McHugh. However, McHugh has a beat on Klerman. Clausen trying to support his defender. Puck scraped out of the corner boards. Ahead to Chase Stillman. Levied across the red line. Kaniashko tries to propel it back to the Penguin zone. Skips away from Brizio. Glove down by Cleveland, and then a hard shot by Butler fired high and wide. Stillman tried to elevate it out. It hit the chest of Butler. Comes back to Chase Stillman. This time he'll use his legs to get this one out of the Penguin zone. Drop pass to Zach Gallant. Try to pass it back to Stillman. Deflected away by Cleveland. Klerman jumping up into the play, activating into the right corner. Puck stolen away by Cleveland. Then they turned it over. Stillman trying to go back toward Gallant. The puck got tipped into the air and now sits underneath the pads of Evan Gardner. He clamps down, draws the whistle, and sends us to a commercial break on your Penguins broadcast network.
Thank you. Now, fans, please welcome Brian with tonight's special guest and salute to service suite.
Thanks, guys.
Wilkes-Barre Scranton has scored the most goals in the Eastern Conference at 241. That's third in the league. 3.39 goals for per contest, and yet neither of these teams have scored just yet. Jace Pietila just whipped one towards the net, got blocked, then Ponomarev cranked one high and wide. Careens off the corner boards all the way back to the Penguins' blue line. Pietila protected that one from Rocco Grimaldi. Sent deep by Cleveland. They had to briefly tag up on a delayed offside, but now Dan Renov will shift that one up the left side boards. Hayes entangled with Svozil. Now it's the Penguins who have to wait on a delayed offside. Ponomarev to the bench as Renov will lob it towards the goal. Blocker down by the netminder Gardner. Left behind his net. Cleveland shifts it up the boards. Roman Ashawn has his path blocked off by Pietila. Penguins bring it back behind the Monsters' cage. Svozil fires up ice, had an open man. Rocco Grimaldi drops it to McCown. In stride, onside. Tries to dance around Brunik, and Brunik won't let him through. Krau, de Valtteri Postinen. Couldn't force a pass to Hayes. Ole Julian Bjorkvik home collects it for Cleveland. Puck pinballing around in front of the penalty box as Tristan Burrows tries to stick a fork in it. It's Koivunen coming onside with Brunik. Attempted the pass. Poke check came out at the right time by Drew Bavaro. Now it's Postinen, bottom of the left circle. Tap backwards to Koivunen. Curling back to the point. Now has space in the slot. Toe drag. Doesn't pull the trigger just yet. Tried to bank it off the goalie. Now wraps it around the other side. Save made. Rebound shot wide by Burrows. Oh, Koivunen has the puck on a string, but the Penguins still can't crack the goose egg on the scoreboard. Puck cleared out by Cleveland, but they can barely catch their breath. Penguins come back on side with Ville Koivunen muscling around a defender on his backhand spinning pass. Wanted Koivunen, but it's kicked away by Brindley. Fired high and off the glass by Cleveland. This one will die before it can be called for icing. Koivunen for Matthias Laferriere, gaining speed down the left wing. Drop pass to Joona Koivunen, fires wide. Bounces into the shoulder of Nate Klerman. Klerman tried to detect it and punch it down into the corner for Koivunen. Instead, it's going to be Cleveland gaining possession. We're past the midway point of the second period. Halfway done with this game. Shots even 12-12, and the score still tied 0-0. Klerman, backhand breakout pass to Poulin. Tried to touch it to Koivunen. Instead, it's going to be Brazil lugging it out of Penguins territory. Rendered down the right wall. Knashko spins away from Koivunen, but Laferriere comes in there as well. So now Knashko tries to escape up the left. Skips it in front of the penalty boxes. Dan Renov retrieves for the Penguins. 30-year-old veteran defenseman and a two-time Calder Cup champion in his own right. He's excited to lead this young Penguins team through this upcoming Calder Cup playoff run. Dan Renov won championships with Grand Rapids and Charlotte. Putia dips it back behind the Penguins' goal. Renov calmly controls. Zipped up looking for Clausen. Icing going to be called here against Wilkes-Barre Scranton. And to hear the Penguins bench urge no, but the linesman will not oblige. They thought Clausen was knotted up there, and that would have been enough to keep the clock ticking. Instead, action halts with 8:53 left in period two. Clausen to the dot against Luca Del Bello Baluz. False start on the face-off. Looks like we're good to go now. Puck fried to the wall by Clausen. Skips away from Richard at the point. He's going to dish it to a vacant area of the neutral zone. In fact, it'll trickle all the way back into Monsters territory. Svozil can't clear it out. Gallant tried to soccer it into the slot for Clausen. Instead, it's Del Bel Baluz running away with it. Luca Del Bel Baluz with a backhand feed to Fix-Wolansky. Saucered into the slot. Richard has that shot blocked by Clausen. Bounces back between the blue lines. Monsters regrouping with Fix-Wolansky handling that precious cargo. Shovels it down the left boards. Gauthier, the goaltender, spins it to Renov. Tapped up now to Chase Stillman. Stillman, tuck pass to Clausen. Penguins come roaring onside. Comes to Pietila, shot upstairs, and he sent it over the crossbar. Bjorkvik home shuttles it away from Gallant. Up to Fix-Wolansky. Bjorkvik home gets it right back, and Krau ready for that pass. Rips it away for Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Calvert one-hands it down the wall. Got tied up in the skates of the linesman, so Avery Hayes unable to slow down in time to grab that puck. Del Bel Baluz drops it, Bavaro gives it to Del Bel Belluz again, trying to button hook away from Calvert. Instead, he turns it over to Hayes. Back to Atlee Calvert, gaining steam, cruising down the left board. Sprays ice as he hits the brakes along the half wall. Plays it to the right corner. Ponomarev zips it to the blue line. Here's Harrison Brunik, tight roping at the point. Shot saved by Gardner. Rebound snagged by Cleveland. Ole Julian Bjorkvik home, just keeping his legs moving, fighting past Vasily Ponomarev. Throws it deep. Krau backhands it to Brunik. What a shifty deep pair they formed with one another here. Krau, so agile, an inline hockey player during the summers in his home Czechia, and Harrison Brunik with elite skating ability, as head coach Kirk McDonald calls it already at the young age of 18. He'll turn 19 next month. McHugh, feisty player, leaves it for Mosley. Mosley tried to return it, but it hits off the end boards over to the right. Samuel Kanashko shrugged off the puck. Now battle for it in the right corner. Bros canceled out. Klerman tried to lob it up the posting and knocked away at first, but right on the mark there is Ville Koivunen. Posting it back to Koivunen, tipped it wide. Chased behind the goal. Kanashko took it away, and then Koivunen able to jar that one off of Kanashko's stick. It's Renov left point. Down the boards to Ville Koivunen. Cycles to Postinen. Rolling back into the high area, the left side of the offensive zone. Bros exchanges with Pietila, dances in the slot, shot goes wide, posting in behind the net, searching for options, has an open man at the point. That's Renov. Pietila, now Koivunen, right dot, bumps it back to the high slot. Postinen returns it to Koivunen again at the blue line. Ville Koivunen in a phone booth, passes backdoor, Bros backdoor again. Oh, what a passing play! Dan Renov cleans it up, and the Penguins lead 1-0. Hang it in the Louvre, a work of art. All 5 skaters on the ice for Wilkes-Barre Scranton get more than one touch before things eventually end up with that red lamp turning on behind Evan Gardner. Koivunen to the bottom of the right circles for Bros, threw it to the opposite post, and the defenseman Dan Renov parked on the back door to slam it in. Butler couldn't get there in time, and Renov gets his second goal as a Penguin. 6:04 left in the second period. Koivunen gonna get up to 56 points here, team leading point total, team leading 35th assist of the year as well. Tristan Bros now 36 points during his rookie season. Cleveland trying to answer. Wrist shot kicked away by Taylor Gauthier. Grimaldi battling with Brunik in the corner. Those two wrestle one another down to the ice. Referees keep their whistles pocketed here. Hasn't been much special teams in this game. Been a largely clean contest, save for an early penalty called against Wilkes-Barre Scranton. They survived that PK. Grimaldi trying to sneak one in short side. Fought off by Gauthier. Kolpanen loses control on the breakout. Taking it away now is Hunter McCown. Swerves to the left boards. McCown darts it down to the left corner. Svozil, defenseman standing there. Knocked off the puck at first by Krau. Briefly came back in front. Wilkes-Barre Scranton didn't want to let that puck linger. Knocked it away from danger. Stays onside for Cleveland. Then knifed away from Grimaldi. Matthias Laferriere providing the defense on the once Florida Panthers draft pick. Rocco Grimaldi. 5 minutes to go now in period 2. Dan Renov has the Penguins up 1-0. 14th shot of the game is what broke this stalemate for the Penguins. Shots are even 14 apiece as number 14 Joey LeBate will grab the puck for the Monsters. Pass down the right boards. Pearson came into traffic, now passed up the post, and look at his speed trying to create a breakaway, but charging back was Ole Julian Bjorkvik home. Swatted it away from Postin and Koivunen back out here for the Penguins, trying to feather it in front. Penguins bump it to the point. Brazil's big slapper goes wide. Klerman steps up from the point. Check down in the corner, quickly hops back up to his feet with the puck. Klerman now trying to muscle his way in front. Lost control at the last moment, but they say that's because Klerman was held by Ole Julian Bjorkvik home. Klerman wincing a bit back in the neutral zone, but I'm sure he'll be smiling when his team goes to the power play when we come back on your Penguins broadcast network.
On your desktop, laptop, tablet, phone, smart TV, or OTT device, visit FloHockey.tv to join now and never miss a moment of AHL action. Now buying on the Humble Group, we're looking for a few lucky fans in section 110 for tonight's Mantees t-shirt toss.
Dan Renov at 13:56 gave the Penguins a 1-0 lead. Now they get their first power play opportunity of the night with 4:21 left in the second. Bjorkvik home in the box for holding. Cleveland's penalty kill starts with a face-off win and clear. Penguins man advantage, 5th in the league, 21.4%. Cleveland's penalty kill 22nd in the AHL, 80.2% on the year. Bolstinen leads the Penguins with 7 power play goals, brings it onside, drops it to Vilkoivinen, who leads the Penguins in power play points. Bolstinen again, across the blue line to Crown. Whipped back to Bolstinen, jettisoned to Crown, standing at the left side of the blue line, watched by Ashon. Plays pitch and catch with Bolstinen. Now Koivunen has it, top of the right circle, seam pass over to Bolstinen. It was rolling on him, didn't want to try and take a crack at a knuckling puck, so he'll settle it down. Whisked across to Vilkoivinen, his feed for Crow, tipped into the air by Hunter McCown. Pushed it out to center, Penguins regroup, thread forth by Koivunen, but not in an area where Bolstinen can make a play on it. Taken by the Monsters, cleared out once more. Power play halfway over here for Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Goaltender Evan Gardner will drop it in the right corner to Guillaume Richard. McCown looking for a way out. Couldn't get enough muster to clear it at first, but Ponomarev's momentum will have that puck find its way to Crow back in the Penguin zone. Koivunen walking the blue line, able to keep things onside as the linesman reminds everyone. Ponomarev in front, missed Poulin, but it trickles back to Crow. Pass behind the net, Vasily Ponomarev tried to steer it on net off the pads of Gardner. Now it's still loose in front, eventually fished free by Sam Poulin. Only played against Cleveland once this year, Poulin, and he had a 3-point game. Crow twirls away from Pulte, a shot tipped by Poulin, but it ends up going over the net. 20 seconds left in the IBEW Nika power play, 2:41 left in the second period. Harrison Brunick getting some time now on the power play. Second round pick by Pittsburgh in this past summer's draft, 44th overall. Was mighty impressive in Pittsburgh Penguins training camp, almost made the club right out of camp. Usually those junior age players are one of the first ones cut. He was one of the last players cut by Pittsburgh just 2 days before opening night. This is his 10th AHL game here this evening. Smooth operator on the breakout. And he may have to break in here for the Penguins after another clear by Cleveland. There's not a lot of time left in this man advantage. Brunick handles things. Short pass to Laferriere. Skips away from Laferriere. And now Ole Julian Bjorkvik-Holm rejoins the fray for Cleveland. So both teams 0 for 1 on the power play in this one. Penguins maintain their 1-0 lead. Poulin slowly creeps onside. First pass attempt blocked by Svozil, then left in the corner. Burrows levied to the point. Brunick fired it back down the wall, hit off the shoulder of Burrows, and out ahead to Max McHugh. McHugh, 112 penalty minutes on this season, but there's a big hit by his line mate on this shift. Pardon me, that was McHugh himself. Now the Penguins will thread it across the far blue line. Laferriere and Bjorkvik-Holm cancel one another out. Someone lost their glove on that sequence. That wasn't either Bjorkvik-Holm or Laferriere. That was Tristan Burrows who tried to pass it in front. No one home there for the Penguins. Now a drop pass intended for McHugh, stolen away by Gallant. Passed up to Kopen and drags the back leg. Then his wrist shot deflected away by Fix-Wolansky. Behind the net, it's Stillman. Hits the brakes right at the loose glove of Burrows. Muscles his way in front, able to shoot to the far side, but Gardner got his pad down and his glove atop the puck. Now 15 saves for Evan Gardner here in his pro debut. Not a lot of time left in the second period, but we'll play what's left when we return on your Penguins Broadcast Network.
Episodes new and old are available on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Download the latest episode today. Now, fans, let's join Brian with tonight's Woodhouse Spot Check in a Win-Winner.
Thanks, guys. We are in section on another three today with my brand new friend, Angie. Fans, let's give Angie a median arena welcome. Come on, let's hear it. Come on, guys, let's get you now. Let's hear it. Great job, Angie. You are the winner of the Woodhouse Spot Check in Win in a Game. You went on the Penguins app. You checked in, and you have a great prize here tonight. Angie is walking away, courtesy of the arena. 4 tickets for Bradley Gilmore!
Cool.
Congratulations, Angie. You again are the winner of our Woodhouse Spot Checking of the Game. We're going to get ready to send it back to Bobby. Before we do, fans, we got to keep this going. Let's get loud, let's get crazy, and let's go
Penguins trying to add to their lead before the intermission arrives. But we're not going to drop the puck just yet. Tristan Brose gets the boot from the faceoff dot. Vida Koivunen in to replace. Koivunen 5th all-time for single-season rookie points, getting up to 56 here with an assist on the Penguins tally. He would need 58 points, aka a 3-point game tonight, to pull himself into a tie for 3rd. Fix-Wolansky parked here on this face-off. They call him the franchise in Cleveland because he's their leader in just about every offensive category. Goals, assists, points. Leads the team again this year, Fix-Wolansky. 60 points in 64 games. Luca Del Bel Belluz tries to sneak one in on Gauthier, but Gauthier will clamp down, falls into his glove. Fix-Wolansky and company still crowding that crease. Fix-Wolansky looking up at the scoreboard, sees there's 1:10 left before the second intermission. Stanley Cup playoffs started today. Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. St. Louis currently leading Winnipeg 3-2. Avery Hayes, what a story he's been for Wilkes-Barre Scranton this season. Banged up during his rookie season last year, but came out strong this season. 22 goals, second on the team, 41 points, and earned himself a 2-year NHL contract with the Pittsburgh Penguins. He'd been playing on an AHL deal the past 2 seasons for the Pens and just went from undrafted to undeniable here with the Penguins. And so excited for what's in that young man's future. Joona Kolpanen tries a shot. That's blocked by Svozil. 53 seconds left in the period. Hayes will leave one in the right corner. Klerman walks up to it. Orbits behind the Cleveland goal. Comes out at the left side wall, but gets pressed off there by Svozil. Fix-Wolansky takes it away. Alternate captain here for the Monsters. Dishes to Grimaldi. Cuts hard back into the slot. Drop back Svozil. Shot off of a skate, then fell down for Fix-Wolansky. And Gauthier, quick to react, sealed that post, made the save. Fix-Wolansky with it once more. Left side half wall on the perimeter. Feathers it back to the point. McKinnon. Now Grimaldi, big drive. That's blocked by Klerman. Throws it off the glass. Skips out to center. Avery Hayes against 2 defenders. Lost the puck and then his balance. 13 seconds left to go in the period. David Breezil gets hit along the wall. That was Butler dishing out the punishment, but the Penguins maintain possession. Ponomarev tries a backhander, sticked wide by Kniashko, and that'll do it for the second period. Only 1 goal so far tonight, but that goal belongs to the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. Dan Renov on the backdoor slam dunk after a brilliant passing sequence by the Penguins. Brose and Koivunen on the assists. Shots are even 16-16, but Taylor Gauthier unblemished on those 16 shots that he's faced so far in this one. We're going to step aside for another brief moment here, but when we come back, another intermission report for you good folks. This is the end of the regular season, but you know what? Let's look back at all those feel-good moments from earlier this year when we come back on your Penguins Broadcast Network.
birthday, Madison Winsky. Happy birthday, Madison Giglio. Happy 16th birthday, Taylor Giglio. Happy birthday, JC. Happy 6th birthday, Iron Peter. Happy 11th birthday, Mason Cherry. Happy birthday, Drew Tunnels. Happy 13th birthday, Heather Hubbard. Happy 45th birthday, Davey Diamond. Happy 14th birthday, Amy. Happy birthday, Raven King. Happy birthday, Brady.
All right, Joey, how we looking on time?
We just had a 60-second filler pop in out of nowhere. After this, hold up, after like 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 3 minutes.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have to make some moves here.
How much do you think we should?
Shave at least a minute. I'm going to listen in for my TV cues here and let you know a more exact figure.
Gotcha. I'm shaving a minute.
At least. It might have to be more. We'll see. Live on TV. So might have to move another 30. Move that to the post game, please.
Okay, we have a minute like right now.
Cool.
So.
Thank you.
Now, how's that? Are we good?
It's going to be tight. I might come back first on TV, but we'll see. All right, folks, we're back here for this third period at Mohegan Arena at Casey Plaza. Penguins up 1-0 on the Cleveland Monsters. Wilkes-Barre Scranton getting a goal from Dan Renov during that period to get this tender 1-goal lead. Now it's about protecting it for Kirk McDonald's club. Penguins swirling around their zone, loosening up their legs after that intermission, getting themselves all fired up too. A bunch of fist bumps along the bench. Avery Hayes getting a little wafting of the smelling salts. Not that he needs extra intensity. Highly motivated competitor, Avery Hayes. Great crowd on hand here for this fan appreciation night, regular season finale. Love it if you guys came out to support the Penguins during this year's Calder Cup playoffs. They started home this Wednesday. Game 1. Game 3, if necessary, will be here at home as well, Sunday at 6:05 p.m. Game 2 will be on the road, but those home dates, they're not changing regardless of who the Penguins play. Might be the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, a little Turnpike rivalry reignited after their opening round best-of-3 series last year. Could be the Springfield Thunderbirds. Penguins trying to avenge their Atlantic Division semifinal loss to the T-Birds from 2022. It's going to be fun. Hope you can make it out. Call 570-208-PENS to get your playoff tickets, your ticket packages. Also, Ticketmaster.com, Mohegan Arena box office, WBSPenguins.com to get your seats as well. Cleveland already with a hard push here at the start of this third period. Rocco Grimaldi with a couple of tries. Now at the side of the goal, he'll leave it for Hunter McCown. Drop back to Grimaldi. Pushed back to the left side point. Stanislav Svozil tried to shimmy around Avery Hayes. Couldn't shake and bake around the Westland, Michigan native. Hayes going to force Cleveland back to their own zone. Guillaume Richard with it. Out of Providence College. Scored his first AHL goal against the Penguins earlier this month. He's been a good pickup for Cleveland late in the year. 4 points in 7 games for Richard. Heavy forecheck by Cleveland. Sees them steal the puck away from Wilkes-Barre Scranton. That was McCown against 3 defenders, then unable to propel it to an open man in Pearson. LeBate leaves it to McCown in the right corner. Along the goal line, shifts it to LeBate, goes backdoor, skips over the stick of Pearson, back to the point. Bavaro's drive, blocked by Ville Koivunen, handled now by the Penguins rookie. Koivunen sent it into the air, knocked out of the atmosphere by Cleveland, then picked up again by Koivunen. Pass to Bros, his shot blocked. Ricochets back out to center for Gavin Brindley. From the University of Michigan, pass into the slot. LeBate's bid, broken up by Klurman. Got stick on puck and steered it over the glass. So already, you've seen a hard press here by the Cleveland Monsters at the start of this third period. Taylor Gauthier hasn't faced a shot yet in this third period, but the Penguins can't expect to have easy, clean zone exits. Cleveland's going to be bringing a lot of pressure. Face off to the right of Gauthier now between LeBate and Kopanen. Well, that was supposed to be the matchup. Now it'll be Brindley and Kopanen with LeBate getting the boot. One into the air by Brindley, shuffled into some skates, and then pried away by the Penguins. It's Poulin. Over to LaFerriere. Tried to work it to Koponen. Broken up by Will McKinnon. Now Brindley. Tape-to-tape pass to Justin Pearson on the breakout. Pearson walks laterally across the blue line. Couldn't time things up with LeBate, so that's offside against Cleveland. Both teams going to alter their personnel here. At least the Penguins sticking with the same three forwards. They got a new D pairing coming on. Sam Poulin parked along the boards there. Named the Penguins IOA American Specialty Man of the Year earlier this week. Every team gets a Man of the Year winner. Poulin was the Penguin selection for his work in the community and outspoken advocacy for mental health. Sam Poulin also a tremendous season on the ice. Career highs in goals, assists, points. On the cusp of 20 tallies this year. Skipper couldn't be pulled in by Gauthier, but a shot attempt by Pultia blocked wide. Poulin defending the net front as a battle starts behind the cage. Fix-Wolansky, left corner, levies it to Delbel Belouz. Pass for Pultia, broken up by Renov and then grabbed again by the Monsters. Chipped down the right side boards. Koponen strong there on Delbel Belouz, frees up the puck. Lead pass for LaFerriere outside of his reach, but will put the puck back into the neutral zone. Look at Delbel Belouz, thrusts it deep. Gauthier dishes in the direction of Chase Pietila. Pass to center for Stillman. Tried to angle it off of his heel for Gallant. Instead it came to Max McHugh. Now Butler will throw this one down the right side boards. In pursuit of that is Mosley. Instead it's Philip Krau stealing that away for Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Gallant run over by Svozil at the blue line. Keeps the offense alive for Cleveland. Delayed call up coming against the Penguins as well. Butler passes to the right side hash marks. Played to the point Grimaldi. The extra attacker thrown out here by head coach Trent Vogelhuber. Leaves it in the left corner. Pass all the way back to the blue line. It's Svozil. Whisk to the right. Hard pass back to Svozil, but it was on the wrong side of the blue line. Cleveland has to tag up here. Penguins trying to steal it away. Cleveland will pass it all the way back to the empty net in their zone. Got to be careful not to play that one into your own net. We've seen an own goal go that way here in the American Hockey League this season. And dangerous back pass there, but Bavaro off the bench, fresh, able to hustle up to it before it came anywhere near that yawning cage. Whistle won't blow until the Penguins touch up. Monsters got some fresh bodies out here, but Ole Julian Bjorkvik home ran right into traffic. Penguins never gained possession. McCown handles it now. Back to Bjorkvik home, over to Bavaro. Tap pass down the left boards, thrown back to the point. It's Drew Bavaro with a wrist shot, shouldered up by Gauthier, now handled by Brunik. And the Penguins will go to the Price Chopper Market 32 penalty kill, trying to protect their 1-0 lead. Interference, the call against the Penguins, and it's Stillman sent to the box. Penguins will start the PK with Koponen, Ponomarev, Renov, and Klerman. Cleveland, they'll put out LeBate, Fix-Wolansky, Pultia, Delbel Belouz, and Bavaro. LeBate, a strong net front presence, try to win the face-off, ends up wiggling its way to Delbel Belouz. Sets up top of the right circle, drops it to Fix-Wolansky. Looking through his tinted visor, wrist shot to the far side. There was space, but he missed the net. Bavaro prevents it from bouncing back out to the neutral zone. Horseshoe around the Penguin zone. Renov can't pitchfork it out, but it bounces to Koponen, who makes sure to clear. 25 seconds down on the minor to Stillman. Bavaro on the breakout for Trey Fix-Wolansky. Watched by Hayes. Fix-Wolansky in the slot. Hard shot by LeBate. Blockered away by Gauthier. Spindled around the Penguin zone, but Nate Klerman trying to jar it loose. Skips to Poulin. Clear. Came into the skates of Bavaro. Stopped right at the blue line. Pultia. Quick feed to Fix-Wolansky. Left at the left boards. Then it's Delbel Belouz twirling it behind his back to Trey Fix-Wolansky. Down into the left corner, looking back door. Pultia had his stick lifted. Bavaro fakes the slapper as he snagged it at the point. Pultia maneuvers it into the slot. Delbel Belouz, shot save. Rebound sent back to Bavaro. His slapper wired wide, and Delbel Belouz will settle it down again. Penguins on their heels for the moment. Every puck coming back to the Monsters. Spinning pass by Delbel Belouz finds Pultia. Finish forward to the side of the goal. LeBate stuffs it on. Stopped by Gauthier. Rebound banked behind the net. Levied back to the blue line. Bavaro to Delbel Belouz. Fix-Wolansky wants it. He's tapping his stick. Instead, it's played to the right for Mikhail Pultia. Bavaro, 25 seconds left in the power play. Poltia into the slot. Bump pass attempted by Fix-Wolanski. Missed Del Bel Belouz. Tries to reset behind the goal to LeBay, but Klerman able to find the loose puck. Hammers it out of the Penguin zone to a big round of applause from the Penguins faithful in attendance. 8 seconds to go in the PK. Penguins able to stave off that top unit of the Cleveland Monsters with weapons all over the place. Stillman out of the box now. Penguins still up 1-0, 2 for 2 on the penalty kill in this game. Puck shuffled deep. Gardner thought about coming out to play it. Instead, he'll just let Guillaume Richard take care of that. Passes the baton behind the goal to Hunter McCown. Trying to pick up some momentum and then slingshots it back. Svozil shoveled to McCown. Dropped now to a teammate. Good defense by Brunick. Was ready for it. Swatted it away. Rose drops it behind the goal line to Brunick. Reverse to Brazil. Ahead for Valtteri Postinen. Rink wide pass collected on the backhand by Ville Koivunen. Koivunen tries to tuck it around his legs. Tried to drop it back to Brose as well. Instead it's covered by Gardner as both Koivunen and Brose slide into the back boards there. Ole Julian Bjorkvik home, kind of pushing Koivunen down on top of Tristan Brose to put those two rookies off balance. Alas, nothing that would elicit a penalty. Penguins still up 1-0 on your Penguins broadcast network.
Another amazing year of support and making fan appreciation night possible. Now let's join Brian with tonight's Penguins at first row predictor winner.
Thanks, guys. We are right near section 101 with my brand new friend Tony. He's from Mountain Top. Let's hear a little bit more effect. Come on, let's hear it. Again, is that the best you got? Let's welcome Tony from Mountain Top. Come on, let's hear it again. Let's go. There we go, it. Tony predicted the first goal correct. He predicted when it was going to be, and who was it again. So congratulations, Tony. You are the winner of our goal predictor here at the arena. Let's give it up for him. Come on. Your prize today is 4 Alice Cooper tickets from the arena here. So again, congratulations, Tony. We're going to send it back to the booth, but before we do, give it up, let's get crazy. Let's go proof on this place. Let's go,
During the commercial break, Dan Renov having a spirited conversation with Cameron Butler of the Cleveland Monsters. Now, I'm not a professional lip reader, so I'm not sure what the subject of their discussion was, but I'm sure they were not making Easter brunch plans. We'll see if those two meet one another as this third period rolls along. Big hit given to Ville Koivunen as they were anticipating a hand pass called against the Penguins. Right in the middle of that is Max McHugh, known for stirring things up. Leads Cleveland with 112 penalty minutes on the season and just came in there like a wrecking ball on Koivunen with everybody knowing that play was about to stop. McHugh's penalty minute total good for 4th among all AHL rookies as well. And here's that one. It was a hand pass against the Penguins. That's why Koivunen was so coy playing the puck. As soon as he touched it, the whistle blew, and you could see McHugh from outside the frame just came charging in there, not able to stop in time, and not afraid to use Koivunen as a buttress to try and slow him down. Penguins back on the attack. Puck knocked out of the air. They say it's not a high stick, and Koivunen fakes to the right point, gives it to the left. Krau sends a skipper to Valtteri Postinen, chopped back below the goal line to Tristan Brose. Already 1 assist in this game. Tried to tuck it around a defender for Postinen. Instead, it's picked off by Ole Julian Bjorkvik home. Pietila pinches up, but the puck just trickles across the blue line to center. Krau, hard feed for Ville Koivunen. Shuffles to Pietila. Pass to the left, off the boards, Postinen drops it back for Philip Krau. Heat-seeking hit there by Butler, but Krau able to work his way through. Now behind the net, the defenseman, saucers for Postinen, right side boards in the slot. Koivunen surveying his options, behind the back pass. Oh, even Postinen might have been fooled on that one. Koivunen with eyes in the back of his head, but the Penguins don't get a shot on that. 12:22 left to go in the third period, with the Penguins still up 1-0. Penguins without a shot so far in this third period as well. Cleveland with 5 bids during this final frame of regulation. Wraparound try by Cleveland. Turns into a pass, and Gauthier sprawls for the save. Svozfield misfires at the point. Penguins race up to it. Passed ahead. They're looking for Hayes. He's across the line. Dropped to Calvert. Lost control. And then Svozfield quickly swats it away from the rookie. Puck gloved down by Avery Hayes. Still matriculates to center. Breezeal brings the Penguins onside. Got submarined there. Old school hip check delivered by Stanislav Svozfield. 69th overall pick in 2021 by Columbus. Puck thread back to the Pens blue line. 11.5 minutes to go in regulation. Breezeal finds Brunick. Kolpinen off of his skate, tried to kick it deep. Instead it bounced backwards to Brunick. He'll make sure to throw that one off the backside glass. McKinnon poked off of his stick by Poulin, but comes to McKinnon's D partner, Richard. Swirled up to Roman Ashawn. Suspiciously quiet in this one, considering his resume of torturing the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. Ashawn along the goal line, tried to send one short side top corner. That didn't work out for the former Wisconsin Badger, but here's some speed showed by Grimaldi. Leaves it at the bottom of the left dot. McCown quickly pursued by Brunick. Monsters still have it though. Rocco Grimaldi operating from behind the goal, past a sliding defender. Now Ashawn banks it back to the left point. Drew Bavaro with a floater, shuttled down to the right corner. McCown tried to spin around Philip Crown, not fooled the Penguins defenseman. Banks it off the boards, back out to center. Roman Ashawn reels it in with that extra face protection, the plastic bubble to Grimaldi. 1-on-4, can't get the shot away clean. Now stuffs it on net, thuds off the pads of Gauthier. Brunick looking for a lane out, up the wall, but not across the blue line. Kicked along by Bjorkvik Holm. Now it's Bavaro with a wrister, blocked by Poulin. Bavaro tries again, and that puck gobbled up by Taylor Gauthier. 10:18 left to go in the third period now, with Gauthier up to 24 saves. And you just can't help but love this opportunity for Taylor Gauthier. Won ECHL Goalie of the Year last year and had to really wait his turn this year. It took until game 72 of the regular season to get this opportunity. You know, Vasily Ponomarev, he's itching to start this playoff run for the Penguins. He's gone all the way before. We talked about Renov's championship experience, but Ponomarev won the Cup in 2022 with the Chicago Wolves. He's mentioned to reporters that he think it'd be very important in his development moving forward to say he's a 2-time champ at 23 years old. Glove saved by Gauthier. Vasily Ponomarev, a great personality too. Love having conversations with him. One of those guys you can really just steer the conversation in any direction and you'll get something enlightening out of it. I know people in Pittsburgh were charmed during his recent call up to the show. Stillman onside, using his speed again, tried to tuck it around Bjorkvik Holm. Lost control, but Stillman got it back. Passed to Clausen, lost in his skates, continues to pinball around the slot. Now Gallant sends it high over the crossbar. Stillman with a thundering check thrown in the right corner. He and Clausen rummaging for it. It's shimmed free. Bjorkvik Holm looking for an escape, and Gallant just bulldozed him. Sent out into the Cleveland bench, and then Knyazhko tried to step up to Gallant. He caught one up high, and now Bedlam here at the end of this third period. It's the end of the season. Stillman scrapping. Fix Wolanski exchanging words with Gallant. Gallant just with a massive, mountainous hit on Ole Julian Bjorkvik Holm. Samuel Knyazhko came over for retribution, and I think he got more than he bargained for. 9:38 still to go here in this final period of the regular season. We'll be back in a moment on your Penguins Broadcast Network.
The winner of tonight's Gold Foundation Jersey Raffle is ticket number 320. Jason Hess, congratulations. Please stop by the Service First Medicine booth. Pick up your jersey. Now it's time for the AHL Out of Town scoreboard.
But he had his cell phone out. I wonder if he was looking for a replay of that hit by Zach Gallant. We got you covered here. Bjorkvik Holm trying to clear it out. He threw it into his bench as he got thrown down to the ice by Zach Gallant. Here's Knyazhko coming over, and that's where Gallant clocks the Slovakian defenseman of the Monsters, and then a huge brouhaha after the fact. Gallant is in the box for the Penguins. There's no one in the penalty box right now for Cleveland, but the referee's still figuring things out at the scorer's table. Fans obviously gassed up for Cotton Eye Joe, as they always are. That's a guarantee. Good to see the youngsters out here to support the Penguins in their last game of the year. I guess now is as good a time as any for me to once again thank you fans out there for your support throughout this 2024-25 season. Whether you're in the building tonight, whether you're watching at home, it's been a really fun season. There's a ton of charismatic personalities on this Penguins team, and if you've been charmed by them, let me tell you, they've won one another over as well. They've really bonded down in that locker room, and they're hoping for a deep run in this year's postseason. They don't want to leave one another just yet and break for the summer. A regulation win by the Penguins today and a regulation loss by the Providence Bruins means that the Penguins will finish third in the Atlantic Division standings and play the Springfield Thunderbirds in round one starting next week. Any other combination of results, which would mean, Penguins loss, this game just going to overtime, or Providence winning or getting 1 point with an overtime loss, that would mean the Penguins are the fourth seed and they're playing Lehigh Valley on home ice next week. And this is a double minor, it appears, to Zach Gallant, so the Penguins have to handle a long 4-minute penalty kill here at the midway mark of the third period. Bavaro with a shot. There was traffic in front. Gauthier made the save on positioning alone. Penguins have their work cut out for him here. And Bavaro had his stick break. Ponomarev, a shorthanded breakaway out of nowhere. He shoots, and a kick save made by Gardner. Bavaro decided to go to the bench for a stick instead of defending Ponomarev one-on-one. That opened up the lane right to the net mouth. You can even see Bavaro fail on the baton toss there. He juggles it behind, so he's completely helpless. Ponomarev almost put that over the pad of Gardner, but Gardner gets enough of it to slow it down and then snuff it out. Could have been a huge, huge turnaround moment of this game. Still 3:36 remaining in the double minor to Zach Gallant. Oh, there were a bunch of penalties here.
2 minutes for roughing and a 10-minute misconduct.
That's to Bjorkvik
Penguins
Holm.
number 42, Zach Gallant, 4 minutes for high sticking. Penguins number 47, Chase Stillman, 2 minutes for roughing, 10-minute misconduct. Time of the penalties, 10:22.
Okay, so Bjorkvik Holm and Stillman both getting 2 and 10. Gallant got a double minor for high sticking, which is why the Penguins continue to work on the Price Chopper Market 32 penalty kill.
And number 47, Chase Stillman.
Grimaldi escorting this puck blue line to blue line. Former San Antonio Rampage dropped one back to McCown, stolen away by Kopanen and floated out of the pen's end. Ponomarev shot out of a cannon, trying to challenge the Monsters shorthanded again. He'll swat it behind their goal. Roman Ashawn with it, hits the brakes to cut away from Ponomarev. Then his back pass, sticked away by Kopanen. Great read by Kopanen, using that long reach to his advantage, gnawing more time off the clock here. Pick set and open ice by Cleveland. That's a penalty on Brindley. He thought he was going to get away with it, but the trailing referee caught it. Interference against Brindley. That means we're going to skate it 4-on-4 for the next 2 minutes. Cleveland will have a 36-second power play once Brindley comes out of the box. But that's just a lack of discipline there by the rookie Gavin Brindley. Kopanen would have had to cover so much ground to go from the blue line to the right side corner of the Cleveland zone, which is where he's parked. And I know Kopanen, he's been flying tonight, using those long levers to cover a lot of ground in a short period of time. But Brindley stood in his way, didn't move. Kopanen falls over, interference the call, and that takes away that glorious opportunity for Cleveland on the double minor power play. Now there is still some open ice here during 4-on-4. Fascinated to see who that benefits, because the Penguins have playmakers on the ice, and Koivunen and Postinen, but a point pass gets picked off by Luca Del Belbaluz. 6 goals in his last 10 games. Fed ahead to Richard, sidesteps Koivunen, goes over to Mikael Potir. 47 games in the NHL this season. Now it's Del Bel Belouz handling it. Circumnavigating the Penguins zone. Back behind the net again. Behind the back pass. Didn't come to a teammate. Instead, it's Ville Koivunen. Up ice for Valtteri Puustinen. Tried to juggle it around Richard. Richard poked it away. It came on his own net. Gardner trapped it underneath his mitt, but the whistle never arrived, so play continues here. Koivunen now trying to steal it away from Bavaro. He does. Puustinen's one-timer bravely blocked by Guillaume Richard. Bounces all the way back to the neutral zone. 1:05 left in the 4-on-4. Koivunen still out here. Knocked off balance, but he never lost the puck. Cleveland didn't take it away. Pietila slides it down the right boards. Burrows pass in the slot. Penguins don't have it. Instead, it's passed ahead for Fix-Wolansky. He juggled it, and that allowed Klerman to get back on the back check to prevent the breakaway. Grimaldi showing his shiftiness, and he hit the post. Pass in the slot. Fix-Wolansky strikes iron. Unbelievable! First to the blocker side of Gauthier, then his glove hand side. Double posts hit by Cleveland. 30 seconds left in 3-on-3. Oh, Hayes tipped it in! End-to-end action! Avery Hayes tips it with the heel of his stick during the 4-on-4, and the Penguins lead 2-0. I'd love to tell you they saved all this excitement for the last game of the year, but this has been the story all year long for this Penguins club. They've delivered tremendous thrills on home ice throughout this 2024-25 season. And after a couple of close calls, Cleveland hit the post twice. The Penguins go the other way. Burrows threads it to Hayes, tips in his 23rd goal of the year, and the Penguins have some cushion. Brindley still has to sit in the box with his tail tucked between his legs after taking the interference penalty that took his team off the power play. Ponomarev cutting back and forth, shaking and baking, pass in front to Kopanen. He scores! Another goal during the 4-on-4. The mistake by Cleveland proves perhaps to be fateful. Penguins score twice with Brindley in the box. A beautiful setup by Ponomarev, using his edges to worm around the defense, then a behind-the-back pass from behind the goal to Joona Kopanen. Gardner had no idea what happened, and Kopanen could backhand in his 8th goal in the AHL this season. Just a beautiful play by the Pens. Still 10 seconds before Brindley can come back. We talked about that shorthanded breakaway for Ponomarev being perhaps a turning moment in the game. Gardner made the save. In fact, it was the Brindley interference minor that turned this game on its head, allowing the Penguins to extend their lead from 1-0 to 3-0. 6 minutes left to go. And Renov will get his second point of the evening as well. Cleveland showing some urgency now. Drew Bavaro, toe drag, snapshot, leaked out of Gauthier's equipment, but just skittered wide of the post to his blocker's side. Renov to an open man in Sam Poulin. Just wants to power it out. He does, but Knyazko got a piece of it. No icing here against the Penguins. Well, this crowd's fired up here. Gallant out of the box as well, so the Penguins take care of the 4-minute double minor to Gallant with a little bit of help from Gavin Brindley. Goals by Hayes and Kopanen scored seconds apart. Shot from the point by Cleveland, sticked wide. 19 seconds separating those two goals by Avery Hayes and Joona Kopanen. Hayes ties Emil Bemstrom for the most goals by a Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguin this season. And a reminder, he started this year undrafted on an American Hockey League contract and has parlayed this great year into an NHL deal. And he hasn't taken his foot off the gas since being rewarded with that contract. Well, they're riding the wave here at Mohegan Arena at Casey Plaza too. You can even hear the riptide. Everyone making noise as they put their arms in the air. 4.5 minutes left to go in this regular season finale for the Pens. Here's Koivunen trying to bebop around Fix-Wolansky. The franchise takes it away for Cleveland. It's Guillaume Richard. Slid out for a couple big shot blocks prior to the Penguins potting those 2 goals in 19 seconds. Richard pulls the trigger from the right point, and a snazzy glove save there by Gauthier. Reached well out of his crease to pull it down, but he's going to earn his 27th save of the game right there. Penguins lead 3-0 on your Penguins Broadcast Network.
Congratulations. Tonight's winner taking home half of $8,280. Please report to the First Fan Assessment to claim your prize. And now it's time to take a look at the Coors Light hits of the game.
Man, it's a hot one. And I'm not just quoting the greatest song ever made, 1999 Grammy Award-winning hit Smooth by Carlos Santana featuring Rob Thomas of Matchbox 20. The temperature's kicking up here in Northeast PA. It's definitely springtime, and with the warming temperatures outside, it's gotten a little hot indoors too. I may have got a couple beads of sweat on my forehead here. And the Penguins turning up the heat in this third period, certainly contributing to that. 2 quick goals in this final frame of regulation to take a 3-0 lead. And the crowd, they want more. Empty net for Cleveland. Shot by Poulin, blocked by Fix-Wolansky. Now Cleveland, they have nothing to play for in this game. They're locked into the 5 seed. So they're going to get a little extra time with an extra attacker here, just to kind of see what they can do. If this were a football team, they'd decry putting this on tape, but hockey teams, they want to get game action here, game situations. Bavaro's shot tipped on net. Gauthier able to fall on top of it. Whistle blows with 3:28 to go. And when I say game situations, I mean like you can't replicate the urgency of trailing in a game whenever you say, all right, we're going to go 6-on-5 in practice. So Trent Vogelhuber, I imagine, is thinking now like, you know what, it doesn't matter if we win or lose this game, but we got 4 minutes left, down by 3. Let's see if we can make something crazy happen, and we'll activate that urgency in our guys, give them a chance to play it 6-on-5 here. And if we give up an empty netter, well, we're not going to fall in the standings. We're already going to the playoffs. We got Toronto coming next week. Still don't know who the Penguins are playing in their opening round series that starts next Wednesday here at Mohegan Arena at Casey Plaza. Could be Lehigh Valley, could be Springfield. Results elsewhere will give us that answer, as it looks like the Penguins are on their way to a victory. Shot driven on net. Gauthier makes the save. Avery Hayes trying to shovel it out, got tied up in the skates, and then found by Bros, trying to make it a 3-point game. Oh, he just sent it wide. Bros fired it wide of the net. Now here's something interesting. Both Poulin and Bros have gotten the looks at the empty net. One shot blocked, the other one steered wide. Penguins could set a franchise record for the most 20 goal scorers in one season here tonight. Both Poulin and Bros are at 20, but Brunik, can he get his first pro tally? Oh, he gets ridden off the puck. Hip check there by Ashawn, and Brunik is jabbing with Ashawn behind the play. Whistles blow, but Ashawn and Brunik won't stop. Gloves are dropped, and here comes McHugh. Second man in, what is he thinking? There's no reason for this, and Hayes agrees. He piles on McHugh. The officials desperately trying to pry these combatants off of one another. Ashawn, he's not stopping on Brunick. It all started with the hip check that Ashawn gave 18-year-old Harrison Brunick. Brunick continues to pound away on Ashawn because Ashawn wouldn't quit on him before. McHugh came in late. Look at Brunick, he's not stopping. And everyone else still scrapping along those right side boards. Now Brindley wants a piece of Hayes. It was Brindley's lack of discipline that opened the door for Wilkes-Barre Scranton to score twice during the 4-on-4 and create this 3-goal lead. Ashawn and Brunick, they're still jawing at one another. You got one linesman in between those two. It might take an army to separate them at this point. Member of the Monsters sent back to their locker room. It's a yard sale in the Monster zone. Gloves, sticks, helmets, all over the Monsters end, littered across the ice. Hayes is going to the box. Brose being given directions, I believe, to go back to the Penguins bench. I think Tristan Brose is saying, I want to get my stick, and the referee says you can get it later. We'll have someone deliver it to you. Crowd boos as they see both Hayes and maybe Brose sent off as well. Yeah, Brose sent back to the locker room. So a complete devolution here towards the end of regulation. Harrison Brunick was trying to shoot into the empty net for what would have been his first pro goal. Whiffed on the first attempt, and Roman Ashawn then stepped up for a low bridge hip check. Brunick wouldn't take it lying down, started to scrap with Ashawn. It looked like those two guys were going to take care of it on their own. And then Max McHugh came flying in for reasons unknown. And then everybody has to get a dance partner after that. There's the initial hit on Brunick. Brunick gets back up to his feet. Everyone else at this point, they want to keep playing hockey, but Brunick and Ashawn are going to go at one another. And McHugh just loses his cool. Brunick and Ashawn, the linesman's trying to calm things down here, and first you got Butler joining, and then you got McHugh flying in there, putting Brunick in the headlock, and here's Renov. Oh my goodness, we had to go back to the ice. Dan Renov just tried to make a charge at one of the Monsters. We said before that Renov and Butler were having extended conversations during the intermission, and Fix Wolanski getting into it with the Penguins fans right now. Well, they're giving Fix Wolanski a really hard time. He's trying to plead his case to the officials, and it looks like he's being sent off as well. And the crowd's giving it to Fix Wolanski. This is a complete breakdown. And the crowd letting the visitors know exactly what their Yelp review is of the town they represent. Crowd, meanwhile, just sharing a laugh with Taylor Gauthier back there. They're rather amused by all of this. It's easy to be amused in a situation such as this when you're up 3-0 with 2.5 minutes left to play, that we will play eventually, I'm sure. Assuming more insanity doesn't happen, the Penguins will get the regulation win that they wanted here. They'll get to 40 victories on the season, but they would need a regulation loss by the Providence Bruins in order to jump over the P Bruins for the 3 seed in the Atlantic. Providence right now leads the Bridgeport Islanders 2-1 with 7 minutes to go in the second period. Jamel Smith has a goal for the Isles, but Vinny Lettieri and Matthew Poitras had first period strikes for the high-powered P Bruins, with Boston missing the playoffs this year. You talk to people who watch a lot of these games, coaches who are grinding tape, scouts who visit as many arenas as they can across the American Hockey League, and as many people as you talk to, there seems to be a consensus that the Atlantic is the toughest division in the league. You have Hershey, the back-to-back defending Calder Cup champs, who took another division crown this year. The Charlotte Checkers, a top 10 team in both goals for and goals against this season. The Providence Bruins, who are big, experienced, and just got a ton of firepower from their NHL affiliate. Now, these Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins factoring into the mix as well. A juggernaut on offense. Thrilling skill up and down their lineup. Kirk McDonald's been behind the bench all year to lead this team to one of their most exciting and offensively gifted seasons in a long time. The talent level of this team is undeniable, but it will not be an easy run in the playoffs. Yes, we're excited for it. We cannot wait to drop the puck on the postseason next Wednesday, but it's going to be a gauntlet for the Penguins to go as far as they think they can go. A best of 3 either against Lehigh Valley or Springfield to start. And then whoever's left remaining of Charlotte, Hershey, Providence, best of 5 series just to get out of the Atlantic Division. Becomes best of 7 when you reach the conference final. And of course, it's best of 7 in the Calder Cup final. Penguins making their 20th all-time appearance in the Calder Cup playoffs. They have made it to the Calder Cup final 3 times. Maybe this is the team that secures them their first championship. They've shown that they're willing to stick up for one another. Bobby Day is going to read off all these penalties right now, and God bless him. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get through it in the 90 seconds we have left. He still might be getting the news of how these penalty minutes are being assessed. Light benches here at the end of this game. Cleveland has 5 skaters on the ice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players on their bench. Almost half the team got booted. By the way, Gardner is back in net for the Monsters, so they don't have an extra attacker. Svozil fires one as hard as he can. It gets risen over the Penguins' net. Pietila lays it up the wall. Clausen tied up with Svozil as the 1-minute warning is announced here at the end of the regular season. Tip towards the net, glove down by Gauthier. Whistle's gonna blow with 54.7 seconds left.
Number 26, Kristen Rose. Number 84, Catley Calvert. Number 85, Avery Hayes. Number 45, Harrison Brunick. And number 56, David Brazil. 10-minute misconducts at 17:28.
So that's 10-minute misconducts, pardon me, for Bros, Brazil, Hayes, and Brunick. Now, Dan Renov, I believe, got mixed up in some extracurriculars with the Monsters as well. Now, on the Cleveland side, you had 6 different players receive game misconducts. And now there's only 52 seconds left in this game and 52 seconds left in the 2024-25 regular season. Playoffs right around the corner. Penguins trying to close this one out. It's ringed around the Penn's end, handled by Nate Klerman. High and off the glass to center. Ponomarev drops it to Valtteri Puustinen, trying to cut inside out on Will McKinnon. McKinnon wouldn't let him through. 28 ticks of the clock remaining as Ponomarev's back check takes it away from the Monsters. Broken stick for a Cleveland player. Sam Poulin rolling back out to center with it. Slows up at the blue line. Pass to Valtteri Puustinen, tip towards McKinnon. Well, there's only 13 seconds left to go now. All year long, this Penguins team has provided exciting games here on home ice, and they delivered another thriller here in their season finale. A 3-0 shutout victory for Taylor Gauthier, and the Penguins get win number 40 and take care of their business in order to perhaps improve to the 3 seed in the Atlantic Division playoff picture. Gauthier, his first start in the American Hockey League this season, results in a 32-save clean sheet. 3rd shutout of the season if you include his time with the Wheeling Nailers, and his 2nd career AHL shutout for the Calgary, Alberta native. Gauthier had to wait his turn to get the nod here in Wilkes-Barre Scranton this season. The 7th goalie used by the Penguins during this year seized that opportunity with a 3-0 shutout win. Goals for Wilkes-Barre Scranton by Dan Renov, Avery Hayes, and Jonna Koppanen. 2 assists for Tristan Bros. And the Penguins, they wanted a win to springboard them into the playoffs. Maybe they and their fans got more than they bargained for. Not only with a win, but a good old Donnybrook at the end of this one too. What a finish to the regular season. And now it's on to the Calder Cup playoffs. Wednesday night, game 1. You better be here, folks. You've got no excuse. 7:05 p.m., we're dropping the puck. Don't care who it's against, the Penguins start their run on Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in to this season finale for Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Got to give a thank you to the B&A crew upstairs for making sure everything could look nice and pretty during our broadcast tonight. Thank you so much to WQMY My Network TV for carrying Penguins hockey on the TV all year long. And thank you to the fans for sticking with us through this exciting year. Hope you join us for the postseason as well. That's a wrap on the 2024-25 season, ladies and gentlemen. This is Nick Hart signing off from Mohegan Arena at Casey Plaza. Thanks for watching. And for those of you who are still listening on the radio side, we got a quick post-game show coming up for you here on WIOK News Radio. Yeah, no highlights. Just you can put the return back in my ear though. Just let me know how much time I have because it's a bit of a scramble here. Cool.